I have chosen the two guys that are going to help with their addiction problems. I'm going to change their name though. So I'm going to take the Bible here and find two names in there first. So that way I can talk about what they're going through, what they're learning, what I'm learning with them without revealing their identity. All right, let's choose the names. Oh wow. I just found a prayer in it. Saint Michel Archange. It's in French. Defend us in the combat. Be our protector against evil and the demons' traps. God commands them, and we beg you, Prince of the celestial militia, by the divine power that you are been confided, go all the way to the catacombs of hell, the depths of hell, Satan and the other bad spirits that's traveling the world for the loss of the souls. Amen. Wow. So one of the guys will be named Michael, and the other will be named Paul. Paul and Michael are the two guys that I chose to help with their addiction problems. Okay. And I'm going to tell you vaguely why I chose those two guys, because seriously, choosing amongst everybody who sent me emails was one of the hardest things I had to do, because I felt like, okay, I'm going to choose those two guys, but I'm not going to help the other ones. But that's not what's happening. I chose two guys that I'm going to share what's going on with the rest of the world so everybody can get help. So Paul, I think he might be a little bit older than me, and he just had a kid. He loves training. He has a wife, and his drug of choice are painkillers. His rock bottom was early January. His wife found him on the floor, dead, overdose. So he didn't find his usual opiates, so instead he got fentanyl. And for those who are familiar with those situations, what do you think happened? Fentanyl is so strong, the dealer sold that to him, not warning him how strong it was. He missed those, and then within 20 minutes, dead. And the wife, she also reached out to me. She even sent me the video where he's dead on the floor, eyes pretty much rolled back, lips blue, skin was a weird color, with the emergency people there trying to revive him, doing CPR. I was hearing his wife screaming and panicking to tell them to breathe in and stuff. And for some reason, after, I think he told me like 28 minutes with no pulse, or I guess barely because it was so low, right? He had a big gasp of air, it came back to life. And the guy thought he just had a big nap. He saw the video afterwards, and he saw how much pain and suffering he was giving to his family, he was giving to himself, to the people he loves. Everybody around him was suffering from this, not just him. That was his rock bottom. He was dead. They came back, they brought him back to life. If it wasn't for them, and they gave him the Arcan, I think, to bring him back to life, it would be not even, I wouldn't be talking about him right now. So that's a pretty urgent situation. And he's willing, Paul is willing to do whatever it takes, whatever suggestions I will give him to get better. And so far, so good. Paul was using every day. He was using every day. He would go bouts without using it as he would travel. Then it would come back in his hometown. And he would end up buying pills or whatever, Percocets, even stronger opiates, whatever you can think of. And because he would leave and then he would come back and relapse with opiates, relapsing is where people usually overdose because the body's not used to the drug anymore, but the brain still wants the high feeling, right? It was tricky. So when he would use every day on a bench and just go crazy. So now let's go to Michael. Michael is younger. Michael is early 20s. For him, why I chose him is because he's a young guy, different situation than the other one. And also, I started the same way he started. So I would just go on the weekends, go to raves once a month, party on the weekend, drink and stuff. and then it would escalate to other stuff like harder drugs like coke, MDMA, G, like K, whatever you can add over that. He would do that every weekend. Sometimes he would do it in the week. Sometimes too, he would do it 2-3 days at a time. He would sometimes not sleep for 2 days. But so you imagine if like 4 days a week you party and 3 days you don't, how bad you feel those 3 days. So even if you party on the weekend, you're the whole week is ruined. The whole week is ruined. You're not 100% for sure. And for him, what happened is that he lost his job, lost his girlfriend, and then he said, I'll try to get my shit together. And then he had a lot of stuff happen in his personal life, loss, and then he just went crazy again. And just, he has no more money. He lost his job, lost his friends. Nobody wants to talk to him. That's what happened. Because when you're, personally for me, when I was using, I would push everybody away. And I was kind of like mean to people who didn't want me to party. Which is like people who love me. And I was nice to people who would let me do what I wanted. So yeah, so I chose him because it was a weekend guy kind of thing. It's always a matter of time if you're an addict it doesn't get better. If you're an addict and you're using, in your life, that's what you do. You try to control the damage. It doesn't get better. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So I chose him because he's kind of like a younger guy compared to the other one who was a kid in the family and was almost dead. He died. I chose the other one, Michael, as a younger who's like, he didn't totally ruin his life yet. You understand? So I'm not saying Paul did, but he pretty much died, pretty much lost his life almost. So two little different situation here. What I recommended for now is that I recommended them to attend 12-step meetings as often as possible. Paul is out of the country right now, so when he comes back, he's gonna get to that very, very quickly, I hope. And Michael went to get his first, because when you do 12 steps, you have the first chip or the first keychain that you surrender, and you say like, I have a problem, I have 24-hour clean, and you grab your first chip, first keychain, whatever. So he did that, and I'm hoping he went to more. I think he was going to. And I keep contact with them via email. So I told them, hit the 12-step meetings. I recommended the book, The Power of Now, because that book is for real, changed my life. I see things differently now. Oh, and also what I recommended to them, to put recovery as their number one priority. Over the gym, over everybody else, over their job, over anything. So what I mean by that is that when they wake up, their main priority is to stay clean and sober and do the things that you need to do so it happens. So if there's a meeting that he has to go, for example, a 12-step meeting, and I can't go, I gotta help my wife with cleaning, whatever. No, you gotta go. If you don't put your recovery number one, if you put it number 4, well, you will lose what you put like number 3, number 2, and number 1. If you put family first and addictions recovery second, you will lose your family because your family is more important than you being clean. But being clean is what brings everybody else. What brings you everybody? What brings you everybody? Everything else. Everything else. It's important. I'm talking not just with information. I'm talking with emotion here. When I say that to a recovering addict, say, hey, your life depends on it, I'm not fucking kidding. It does, literally. Especially for Paul, because he almost lost his. All addicts in recovery have in common is that at some point there was a big rock bottom. And from that rock bottom came despair, guilt, shame, anger, sadness, all that stuff. And because of the rock bottom, it helps make the decision to seek help. So obviously for Paul, he was dying, overdosing, the video, seeing himself in the video, seeing the damage he did to his family, seeing himself in that state, and just, overdosing, almost losing his life. For Michael, It was using after losing close ones, losing the job, no more money, no more apartment, and just feeling like guilt, shame, and all that stuff, and loss of control. Because both of them, including myself, powerless over drugs. If we start using, we just can't stop. There's a cool saying that says like one too many, 1,000 is not enough. So, for example, if you sniff one line, that's one too many. But once you do, 1,000 is not enough. So remember that. So I'm gonna talk about one of my rock bottoms. I don't know if I mentioned it in the other podcast, but I might repeat myself. But December 3rd, 2016, I was actually in a sex club. In Montreal, they have those. You go there. You can bring girls, and it's a place that's open 24 hours, 7 days a week, and you can rent rooms. So it's perfect. There's a pool or whatever. So if you want to party, there's music. It's like you can bring a radio in the room, and then shit gets a little bit wild. But it got pretty wild for the last time I got there, because my friend, I'll say that, back then had a psychosis episode, which means that he made his own reality in his head that he thought for some reason I stole from him at his house. You know, when you have people have psychosis, they get paranoid like that. Paranoid psychosis. They open up the couch and they want to see what proof that I stole from him. He was looking in the food cupboard to like find a proof that I stole from him. So he even came back all the way to the sex club, and I thought, oh, maybe he's feeling better now. He wants to have fun with us. And then he kept like checking my phone. He opened up the battery. He was like, "Did you stole from me?" I was like, "No, I didn't steal from you." Like come on, relax. You're paranoid. And then he would grab him by the throat. And he was like, he was, I swear. I don't know what he was saying in that. And then I had a brilliant idea. I was like, I'm so fed up of this guy, because also the other girls, one was in her own psychosis. She used the fire extinguisher and fire extinguish in the tanning booth, because they had a tanning booth in there. And the other girl, her friend, she was trying to run after her. She was trying to make her stop doing all this crazy stuff. So it was pretty much chaos. So I said, you know what? I want to leave this place. This friend won't let me out because our stuff is in the room over there. So I said, I'm going to knock him out cold. And once he's asleep, I get my shit and I leave. That's where my mind was set was at. So I swing and I hit him. But I hit him right here on the, whatever that's called. So he kind of like fell back on the ground or something. But he got back up right away. And I didn't think further than that. I thought he would be knocked out. I was like, I was stupid because I was high, right? He takes me and he punches me. I think that's why I have a scar here. Like, you see this scar? I don't know if you can see it. A little scar there. Anyway, it was fucking open. He punched me 15 times on the side of the head. And you know when you get punched and you don't want to fight, you just kind of bend over. So he punched me. My whole head was pummeled. So I pushed him away, I think, and then I was like, okay, stop. And I couldn't see with my left eye. I thought I lost my eye. But there was so much blood, I was seeing red, literally red. I go back upstairs. I tell the owner of the place, I said, my friend just beat me up. And what he did is he called the cops. And then the guy who punched me, he thought the cops was part of the scenario to go against him. Part of the conspiracy that we were all against him, the cops were on it. So the cops, the worst part of this, I think, is that the two cops recognized who I was. They say, hey, you're Antoine, huh? Whoa, you lost a lot of muscle. What the fuck are you doing? Pretty much like, what are you doing? Like, it's like they recognized who I was, and they saw me where I was, in the state that I was, with less muscles. I had so much guilt and shame. This is the worst thing that could have happened at this point. You know, like, the two cops who came here on a Saturday morning, and they see me all fucked up. It was horrible. They said, you want some stitches? I said, no, I'm going to rehab Monday. And I was really in my head going Monday to rehab, but it was Saturday. But I think if I didn't receive that beating, because after that, I went outside, it was pouring rain, it was a freezing rain, I had no jacket, just a little thing there. And the taxis wouldn't get me. That was because I was bleeding, so I had to call a taxi and walk sideways and get in the car so he wouldn't see my bleeding. And I told him go to McDonald's because when you're homeless, pretty much because I was couch surfing, you have no money. You're always looking for the Wi-Fi because you have no minutes on your phone because you have no money. So I said, go give me the McDonald's, get a Wi-Fi. And I had $17 left. I bought a burger or something and a drink, and I called somebody that would drive me back to my mom's place. Then I went to the hospital because I was like, you know what? I think I need to go to the hospital because logically, I think sometimes when you receive a lot of hits on the head like that, because they were hard punches, I remember, you might have like blood bleeding in the head, and that's not good. So I had to check if everything was fine. But the thing that pissed me off the most at that moment, I was like, fuck, I have to stop partying. I had one more day. I had all Saturday, all Sunday to party, and then I would go to rehab Monday. Now I can't party for 2 more days because I gotta go to the hospital. That's how crazy I was. But like I said, if it wasn't for that beating, what if Sunday I would have found more money, or a friend would have given me more drugs, or because I had drugs but I had no money, I had no place to go. What if somebody would say, hey, come party? Because there was always somebody somewhere willing to party, right? If you want to find with somebody, there's always somebody. So I could have, even if I had intentions to stop Monday, maybe Sunday, I would have found more money somehow, or find a way to get some, or find a place to party and just more girls or whatever, more people to hang out with. I would have probably not stopped. Why that Sunday night, if I had more temptations, with my brain already in the freight train of chaos and addiction, would have just stopped no. It's because I got beat. I was beaten mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. I had no place to go. I wanted to keep partying, and I had nowhere to go, and I had no money, and I had nobody to party with. And it was raining in December in a gray morning on a Saturday morning. So that was my rock bottom. And I said, you know what? Party's over. So because of that, I went to the hospital, and then I went to my rehab, and I clean. I actually had a slip just for drinking like 9 months later, but other than that, I'm here. So yeah, rock bottoms suck, but they really are useful. If you had some rock bottoms already, they don't get better. They get worse and worse and worse. Every time you relapse, they get worse. So get your shit together now, and follow maybe my suggestions that I gave the guys. If you're, the best thing if you're an addict and you can't stop, what I was doing for me, I went to 4 rehabs that are 24/7, closed, with counselors always there, and all you got to think about is you and your recovery and how to get better. How to live life on life's terms, how to live life clean and sober. Because for me, if I didn't have that, I was too wild, I was too crazy. I'm too obsessive as a person. And I'm still like that, but other things. But yeah, if you're having trouble stopping, drop everything you're doing in your life. Drop your job, drop everything, because that won't last if you die, if you lose everything anyway. Stop everything, go to rehab. That's my number 1 solution. Number 2, you hit the 12-step meetings, even if they say spiritual and they say God. Just open your mind. Just take what you need. And the God thing, have your own God. Have your own higher power. It doesn't matter. Even if they say the Our Father prayer at the end, who gives a shit? These meetings are keeping people clean and sober. And before those meetings, people were dying left and right in the 40s. If you know about the Bill and Bob, they're the one who created the 12 steps. And The Power of Now is a great book. I highly recommend that to anybody. Even if you're not struggling, it's a great book. Just seeking help, talking, denouncing yourself to your close ones that, hey, I have a problem. I just want to let you know. And then just talking helps, sharing like I'm doing right now. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Please subscribe to the channel. Comment below any comments you want to comment. And I'm going to respond to some questions if you have questions. And hope you have a nice day.